A woman storms into the operating room with a gun in hand. She completely ignores the patient still being resuscitated, glances at the brain scan on the wall, then, without hesitation, raises her weapon and shoots the poor guy on the table. Just like that, the patient on the table skips the rescue and goes straight to meet his maker. Before anyone can even react in shock, the woman puts on a surgical gown.
You would have been able to save him anyway. Tumor already invaded the cortex on the right side of his spine.
And lies down on the table herself.
Somebody put a bag of drugs in me. I need you to remove it. It's leaking. Do it now.
Faced with a life-threatening situation, the doctors have no choice but to comply.
Right. Okay. Calm down, please.
They carefully cut open her abdomen, and when they remove a damaged half-pack of blue substance, the woman lets out a relieved breath.
I need to know what it is.
She doesn't even bother to hide it. She says the name of the substance out loud.
CPH4.
CPH4. The doctors freeze at the mention of it. Clearly, they know exactly what this stuff is. CPH4 is a compound only produced in minuscule amounts by pregnant women around the 6th week of pregnancy. Its primary function? To stimulate the growth of the fetal brain. And it's precisely because of this tiny amount of CPH4 that human brains can reach 10% functionality, making us the dominant intelligent species on Earth. But now, thanks to half a pack of pure CPH4, Lucy's brain has reached 20% development. Even the doctors are stunned. It's a miracle she's even alive at this dosage.
If it really is CPH4 in this quantity, I'm amazed you're still alive.
Not for long.
Not long ago, Lucy had been tricked by her scumbag boyfriend into making a shady deal with a drug lord. The deal? To transport a newly synthesized 4th-generation high-purity CPH4. After a male volunteer successfully tested the drug lord confirmed its effectiveness and immediately decided to implant it into the bodies of 4 mules, using them to smuggle it to Europe for the next phase of development. Lucy, who witnessed it all, unluckily became one of the human transport vessels.
A job? I don't want a job.
From that moment on, Lucy's body and her fate took a drastic turn. She woke up to find a fresh surgical scar on her stomach. Still in captivity, her beauty caught the eye of a gang member. In the back seat, Lucy could clearly feel that her body was undergoing an unprecedented transformation. Her vision and hearing had become abnormally sharp, not only able to catch sight of a woman talking on the phone 100 meters away, but also hearing every single word of the conversation with crystal clarity. Hospital, Lucy quickly headed for the operating room. After confirming that the patient had no hope of survival, she casually sent him to paradise, helping him escape his pain ahead of time. Threatening the doctor to remove the ruptured CPH4 from her abdomen, Lucy could distinctly sense she had to locate the remaining 3 bags of CPH4 as soon as possible to maintain the evolution of her brain, or she would stop evolving within 24 hours. After leaving the hospital, Lucy went straight to the hotel where the deal with the mob boss took place. Using her newly developed X-ray vision, she fired several shots through the door, accurately hitting the guards behind it. Her calm, lightning-fast precision left them no chance to raise the alarm. Unaware of the chaos, the mob boss was still enjoying his spa with his eyes closed, until Lucy gently called his name and woke him up.
Learning is always a painful process.
To be fair, the mob boss was a battle-hardened savage. Even when his palm was pierced, he didn't make a sound.
It's blocking you from understanding. All you know now is pain. That's all you know, pain. Where are the others? I need the rest of it. For medicinal purposes.
He neither revealed the whereabouts of the other 3 bags of CPH4, nor showed a hint of fear. Instead, he glared at Lucy with murderous eyes, determined to fight to the death. Seeing this, Lucy stopped wasting time. She simply placed both hands on his temples, forcibly hacking into his brain. And through the neurons storing memory, she successfully accessed the images showing the locations of the other 3.
Thank you for sharing.
Having achieved her goal, Lucy turned and walked away, leaving the enraged mob boss roaring in place. In order to better understand her brain's evolution, Lucy returned home and within a single minute accessed every research paper by the world's top neuroscientists. Then, in an instant, she hacked into the professor's home TV, starting a face-to-face conversation through the screen.
Who are you?
I just told you.
Faced with the professor's confused expression, Lucy spoke directly. She had just spent 1 minute reading all available theoretical works on human brain development, including the professor's own.
Thank you.
She revealed that the cause of her state was absorbing an excessive amount of synthetic CPH4. Now, her brain cells were multiplying at the staggering rate of millions per second. Her brain had already exceeded human limits, reaching an unprecedented 28%. At this stage, she could not only manipulate her metabolism at will, but even control fundamental magnetic and electric waves.
Television. Telephone. Radio.
Seeing all this, the professor couldn't help but gasp in awe.
That's amazing.
But Lucy herself felt no joy.
I don't feel pain, fear, desire. It's like all things that make us human are fading away.
Though her mind overflowed with quantum mechanics, applied mathematics, and life sciences, all the knowledge of the universe, Lucy could already foresee she had, at most, 24 hours left to live.
The most basic.
After that, all would vanish like a dream, leaving nothing meaningful behind. Lucy hoped the professor could show her the path forward.
I don't know what to do with it.
After listening to Lucy's account, the professor, suppressing his shock, fell into deep thought and slowly offered the only answer he could imagine.
The sole purpose of life has been to pass on what was learned. There is no higher purpose. So if you're asking me what to do with all this knowledge you're accumulating, I say, pass it on.
The professor's suggestion suddenly enlightened Lucy.
Yes, of course.
Because knowledge is eternal, she decided that in the final hours of her life, she would share all the infinite knowledge she possessed with humanity, without holding anything back.
I'll be at your door in 12 hours.
After ending the call, Lucy understood the top priority was to locate the remaining 3 doses of CPH4 to sustain her brain's evolution, ensuring she could stay alive long enough to reach the professor and carry out the greatest knowledge transfer in human history. However, just as Lucy arrived at the airport, ready to depart, she quickly realized that due to her actions at the hospital the night before, she had already become a wanted criminal. So, without hesitation, she altered her hair color with a thought, and simultaneously called the French police on the other end of the line, informing them of the flight information of the other 3 human couriers.
Listen up, Piero Del Rio. Get off your desk, sit in your chair, pick up the red pen to the left of you, and take down everything I say. There are no cameras. Hurry up. I have no time to waste.
After speaking, Lucy instantly hacked into the police computer system
Got it?
and transmitted all information about the 3 individuals, including their appearances, to the confused police chief. Upon receiving the intel, the French police quickly launched an operation to arrest the 3 men who had just entered the country, successfully apprehending them even before the Black Boss's men could make contact. Meanwhile, Lucy was already seated on the plane, independently operating 2 laptops, frantically absorbing all the knowledge stored on the internet by humankind. Yes, all of it. At this moment, her brain capacity had reached an astounding 40%. Mad evolution, which defied all reason, soon brought with it a terrifying cost.
The knowledge.
Just as the woman took a sip of champagne, a tooth appeared in the glass. Clutching her mouth and nose, she began to gag, only to find more blood-stained teeth suddenly appearing in her hand. Before she could even react to the shock, her body underwent an even more horrific transformation. Not only did the skin on her hand start to disintegrate at a visible rate, even her fingertips turned into countless particles and floated into the air. The strange changes to her body filled her with fear. Distort. Lucy understood. This was the consequence of reaching 40% brain capacity. Now, every inch of her flesh and every cell had evolved self-awareness, and were instinctively detaching from the host body to pursue independent evolution. The immediate urgency was to supply the host body with enough energy to retain them, otherwise she would completely vanish, dispersing into nothingness. So she immediately pulled out the remaining blue substance from her bag and began swallowing it frantically without hesitation. But her self-rescue seemed to be a bit too late. Though the symptoms were alleviated, it still couldn't fully stop the disintegration of her body. She could only lean helplessly against the wall. When Lucy regained consciousness from her unconscious state, she discovered that she had already been taken to a hospital, 50%. When she changed her clothes and stepped out of the hospital room, she was immediately blocked by the police chief. But Lucy had no interest in dealing with any of them now. With a casual wave of her hand, she instantly put all the surrounding officers to sleep. With a mere thought, she made all the bullets fall out of the chief's magazine. Then Lucy slowly approached the bewildered chief and plainly stated her purpose.
Did you get the packets? Did you get the packets?
Yes,
Where are they?
they're safe. Here, in Paris.
They'll be safer in my hands.
But on the way to the next hospital, Lucy's evolving brain unlocked yet another insane power. She could literally see the colorful threads of energy floating through the air. Those were electromagnetic waves, visualized. Sensing danger, she raised her hand and started swiping through the air, like tuning into the exact frequency she needed. And sure enough, she found the communication signal. Turns out, Mr. Big Bad Boss was already heading to the hospital, 10 miles away, to snatch the last 3 doses of CPH4.
Shall we go?
Now, there was only one thing left to do. Find the neuroscience professor she'd contacted earlier, and use him as the bridge to pass on her knowledge to all of humanity.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
Likewise.
When she finally met Professor Norman, he had already gathered a team of the world's top scientists, all waiting for her. Though they'd been briefed on Lucy's condition, they were still skeptical. Nobody could wrap their heads around a brain evolving beyond. That kind of talk shook the entire room. Professor Norman, clearly overwhelmed, finally asked,
What governs all that?
"If numbers don't rule the world, what does?" Lucy responded by conjuring an entire freeway scene out of thin air. She showed a car speeding up, faster and faster, until it reached infinite speed and disappeared.
So what proof do we have of its existence? Time gives legitimacy to its existence. Time is the only true unit of measure. It gives proof to the existence of matter. Without time, we don't exist.
Time is unity.
Just then, the police captain burst through the door, looking panicked.
To hold it for much longer. And she's trying to connect with our computers.
Once the room was completely absorbed, Lucy's consciousness jumped to a higher dimension. The physical world around her vanished. In a blink, she pulled everything. And finally, landing in Times Square. She raised her hand, and time stopped. With her left hand, she fast-forwarded time. With her right, she rewound it. She now had total control over time itself. She kept rewinding. The city shrank back into an industrial-era skyline, then even further back. Centuries collapsed in seconds. In the blink of an eye, she was watching tribes wander the earth, seasons changing, day and night flipping like pages in a book. Then, the supercomputer lit up. A signal. Lucy hadn't forgotten her promise. She'd passed on everything. Her infinite knowledge, her understanding of the universe, to humanity.
Hey. Where is she?
In the vastness of the universe, humanity is but a flicker. Fragile, fleeting, yet full of potential. As we chase power and knowledge, may we never forget, our survival depends not on dominance, but on understanding, unity, and peace. That's the end of the story. If you have a dream, be waiting for you.